Hello everyone, I'm going to present my thoughts on the newest AI Adrian just dropped like less than a day ago. And I've saw this game, so I know that this is breaking the 100 line threshold. And yeah, we can say a couple of things about it, but basically, this is an AI and this is a set seed which probably we can do 100 lines. We like invest a lots of time into it, but then this AI never get the chance to know the whole sequence beforehand, so we can say this game counts. So basically, I thought that like having a 30 lines improvement requires new strategy, and like kind of we got some of it, but I was not very satisfied later on because I'm gonna play it on like half speed because it's like really fast paced 4 minute game. It's pushed on always. Let me like cut it in half. So basically, as the game starts, it starts building on the left because Adrian said that uh, he he realized that the model was giving the exact same results if the game started on lower levels. Didn't matter if it's like stacked on the left or stacked on the right, but if the opener is better on the left, actually we should just go with the left side stacking, which is crazy because earlier this was like kind of debated, and I thought on my games which I've tried couple thousand, maybe couple 10,000, that stacking on the right was beneficial, and I felt like that was the case because when I tried to like mimic the first AI, I've always did better on the right than the left after like I don't know couple thousand games. So I've strictly stick with the right side stacking and left well, which might not be optimal if you have a better chance to like stack on the left. Now we know that maybe you can just like go with the left, it doesn't even matter. Maybe maybe this is even a more optimal. We don't know yet because like this is still just a model and not like hard truth which cannot be challenged, but this is the current best known strategy. So yeah, it may be uh, fine to take it into consideration to like build on the left. Secondly, I think the model is like, I mean, this is a fine move, but again, because your next piece is something that you can place here, I'm not saying that like I would always place the square here because that's not the case, but I'm definitely considering the square here and the next piece here, which is already like something we know that squares can like just shoved on to the side. It's probably like safer because yeah, this is the exact piece that makes this kind of building better than the other one, because if you place the square here and the next as here, then you don't really have a place for the square. But because anyways there would be another, we could like overhang the square, and I mean it's complicated, but I think it's nearly the same. But yeah, I don't think we saw anything new here. This is just like a preference at this point, maybe nuance. It's not like any big stuff. Okay, I don't think that the model would take this burn if the next piece would be something like an L. Probably it would keep on stacking, but because we have the the double piece set up here, I think that's why it takes the burn. And now because If again there would be like some shenanigans, it might be better to place the first here and not here, because this way we keep another option to place the next one here, and if we place it here we don't have a chance to place it here, just to the really left. It makes sense to like change, but eventually it is going to be the same. As you can see, we would eventually do this, it doesn't really matter. I like to see that it it tries to like solve the middle first and not the stack, which is something I would say we would not really often do. I mean, it's not unheard of, but definitely if like this is the position and my next piece is, for example, a square or anything, of course we would go here. But even with the T, I'm not 100% sure that I would place the first L into the middle, maybe here, because this gives more stability. And I think um, probably this would yield uh, in a more safe way to get lines. This is a way more aggressive play, and basically the only piece that makes this placement better if you get long bars. And besides the long bars, this is just better. And even if we get like triple long bars or like four long bars, this is still fine to place it here because you can stack the long bars on the left. I mean, it's again just nuances, but I mean, like going here and like getting after the T, like getting three squares, you just get wrecked. But if you place it here, getting three squares is fine. So it's aggressive. I'm not saying that this is 100% a better move, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, basically the model got perfect pieces, and this is something that I would do. I think here the square is definitely going here. The square should never go here because this gives more stability. This model does this, and this is the first time I would disagree with the model, because yeah, this move is like really risky. This this move is something I would probably never do nowadays, because let me just go back a little bit. So basically the long bar, I think if the model would get here an S piece, it would still give like go into the middle with the long bar, unless like I don't know, like stupid shenanigans. But yeah, this is like the best and the more safe way to play, because if you get an S here, you can tuck a T, you can tuck a Z, you can tuck a J, it's all fine. And eventually you're gonna clear everything, and 7 widening this line was always the way to go. This tuck results in a dependency, like you need a square and nothing else, literally. And even if you get the square, then you're gonna get something into the middle. You don't really get to play like anything here. And yeah, this is just monkas if you don't get the square first, but watch what the model does. And like this move again makes completely zero sense, because at this height, like making it an 8 wide line and then 6 wide lines, your only way to like clear lines is long bars and square, nothing else. You would never place a Z here. Even if your next piece is a Z, you never place it here. You just get fucked if you place the Z here. Z should go like here. But again, if the model would get after this piece, because it cannot know like two L pieces, the game is over. I mean, not over, but this whole setup is like really tough to get. Probably you should just like discard lines on the left if you just get double J here or like anything. So this is a really risky way to play, and I mean even the reward is not high enough to like make it worth. But yeah, if you get the pieces, I guess you can just go for it. And again, you see, you get one, and again, if you get another one on this bad piece, you are basically fucked. But no, 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 just get the L, just get the L, and you are fine. Of course. Yeah, the next piece placement is fine, but here again, something ridiculous happens. So basically, what we done here is we now have a place for a long bar, but we like fucked our bottom here. So basically, the only way to get these lines is like T, J, L, I don't know, like some weird shit. So basically, what I would do here is place the square here because now the long bar burns. Eventually, I'm gonna get a square, and I can still like elongate this one, and eventually, after like some clears, this can be cleared perfectly. But this AI is again weird, and it says, no, 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 I don't care about that one. I want to again, and I would get the other square. So like my plan would work incredibly well. But this model would say, no, 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 I don't want any of this. And again, this placement is also weird. Why wouldn't you just go here? Because this would 7 bind and everything. And now, even if you get an S, it's perfect clear setup on the right. It's really weird. And I don't know. He, like the AI, wants to clear all of these lines with a square plus 3 long bars. There is nothing else if you don't place your building piece here. It's just weird. I guess it's some kind of aggression, and maybe I want my long bars now to get like burns. I don't know. But again, you would need a square first. You can just go like long bar square, because then the square wouldn't tag because we have this minnow here. Yeah, that's weird. But eventually, so now if you would get like 3 more long bars, the model would be in trouble. But of course it's not in trouble because it would get a square first to place it here. And then it does something really weird. So this is again a setup which is not unheard of. If you clear this line, then we have the J into a T setup, which is like delayed burn into a double. I've done this many times in my games, so this is already been discovered. Nothing really surprising. So your next piece is not going to burn this one. This is like an exclusive. We have to wait for a J, and then we have to wait for a T, and we have nothing else here. So this goes definitely here, or maybe if again some weird shit happens, maybe here, but nothing else. I mean, I think I had a game where I placed the piece like this here and got like double J's. I mean, obviously mirror because I've never building on the left, but yeah. So, and then gets square, and then gets everything, and yeah, just gets rewarded. But now, because the square came here, now we have like many lines for the long bar. Again, this is something weird. Like here, why would you place it here? Because this is again makes my stack in a way that it's absolutely not flexible. I don't like this. I mean, I would probably place it here or here because I'm definitely thinking that this is a place for a T, because then a square can come here after a long bar like clears this one. But imagine if the long bar clears this one now, because this minnow is here and not one line like higher, you can't tuck a square here to get this double. So basically, what you have to get here is a long bar into J and into another long bar. And what exactly is that like? It's just weird. So, okay, we now eliminate the long bar because it's like too specific. So we definitely going to have to get the like Z piece here. And if we get the Z piece here, we're gonna play a long bar here and we place the square over, which is something that again just way more specific because we can't use the square until we get a Z and a long bar, which is like, why would we get like a Z, then a long bar, and then a square, and then a long bar? Nah, this is just again way more aggressive. than the stuff I would do. Maybe I'm just like soft, but yeah, that's weird. Again, I was thinking like some kind of T square long bar schemes maybe possible, but yeah. And eventually it's just gonna go with the stuff I said, except it didn't get the long bar first, so it skims that line and skims that line and get the T. And this is the exact same setup I would recommend. Like, I don't know, here I said that if this Mino is like one row upper and we get the long bar here, so we have two like empty squares, we can tuck a square. But here, after like know how many lines, now we get the exact same setup. So if we get a square here, this is a perfect clear setup, which is why not? Okay, so this is again something I would do like in my games. This is again not unheard of, like work at what we have here because we have two pieces which would eventually create a perfect clear setup. Just go for a perfect clear setup. This is something that we call a perfect clear setup, and we have like 3-3-2 pause. This is clearable with many piece combinations and it resolves cleanly, so you just get back what you had before. And again, this is something like you would do with the square anyways. You want to tuck it here, so you can tuck the square before we go for the perfect. And the long bar would go probably here if you would get a T, but definitely we don't get a T, so we just go for the perfect. Everything is like one, like only placements probably. And this placement is again weird. Like, why would we go here and make our stack like vulnerable? Because now we need exact piece combinations, but this is actually smart. This is something I've never seen before because I've never played this. I always thought that if we go here, we need like long bar, square, square, or long bar, long bar, long bar, but this is a multi-purpose move because if you have this like 6 wide and then under 7 wide and like 3-3, if we place this piece here, then the J would resolve in a perfect 7 widening, which is something like never crossed my mind because why would it? Yeah, and as you can see here, this piece would go here, and once I saw that, the AI said, no, we did this flexible thingy just so we don't go right there. And then with the next piece, it still doesn't go there. And the reason it still doesn't go there because now we need two pieces here, like we need a J here and another J here. So if we go here and we need the third J here, the chance of getting those pieces is like really small. So we would like to like not make too many dependencies on J pieces. That's why this move never happens. And even though probably the purpose of this move was to go with the here, just because we never get the J's, I never decides to go there. I think this is like kind of human like, but yeah, this is definitely understandable. But now, as we get the pieces, if we get another piece here, so for example, if we ever get like for here, we would get an L into J, the L into J would go here, definitely. And now we see that that's why I said that this was not really a great idea, because now we block the long bar. There is no way we clear this line with the long bar and get a square here. So we need an alternative solution, and this is the alternative solution of the Z phase, that you can just go with the Z here, block everything, because then the square would make it a perfect clear setup. So what we are aiming here is an only piece combination. So if we get a Z piece here, we go here and then a square needed. And this is the only order, only two piece that resolves in anything here. And look what happens, we got the Z and we got the square, and We don't go for it. What? Because the AI knows that it cannot get like uh, anything if the square is here and like we started the perfect clear setup with a T or with a J or with a Z. It maximizes our chance of getting the pieces. So getting this line is better because now we lower the stack one row, so we have more time to eventually get the perfect clear setup. But now we don't just need the perfect clear setup, we need another square. So I mean, it gives something, it takes something, hard to evaluate, but I mean, it's definitely a choice to like uh, think about. I can perfectly explain why it does. And this is again why this is not taking the burn with this piece. The only reason because there isn't a square here. So like building is way better until we get the square. But eventually we don't get the square and we don't really have a good place for the T. Like this is not really a good place because we probably want double Z's here. So we take the burn, but now this is like a perfect clear setup, but two pieces have to come in an order. And again, it's like weird, but that's not the case because you can get the L first and then another L and then a long bar and you can like skim everything here. But that's like risky. Of course, you would like to get the square in an ideal world. And that's why I think if the next piece would be another J, it would take the burn, but because it's the square and we have an like obvious place which is dependency and we can like get rid of the dependency with this piece, that's why we are going right there and we are going right here. So this is just like a double into double, J into L, everything is fine. Yeah, it's now doing the thing that I've mentioned, that probably not like tucking here is a great idea because earlier that was the case. There are very specific reasons it did that. It's fine, I guess. Again, if it's a long bar, probably the T would come here, long bar here, and like Z piece would make it perfectly set up. But because that's not the case, and we got the square can come here. And again, I was completely wrong. The square went really left. What? Why? And I don't know. The only reason the square is not considered here is long bars because this setup is now accom- accommodates long bars. Like we can get schemes with long bars. If you get the square here, because there is like a Mino, would not accommodate the squares. And again, this setup, this like very weird setup when the Z can come here and the square can go here and it makes a perfect clear setup is crazy again. So actually like these three long vertical lines are really good if your stack is 5 wide, which can never really crossed my mind before, but why not? And again, it is not going here with the square because it wants the Z piece first. Z piece first, then the square, then the long bar. This is very specific and not really optimal. Again, it's not just the Z that's good, it's like T into square is also fine. But you don't get the right order. So if after the T there would be a square, the T would go here, the square would go here. That's 100% of the time. It takes the burn, makes sense, but now it takes the $1 million setup and it says that no, I had enough. Which is a weird again, because the long bar could come here and it's 6 wide, everything is fine. Why would you ruin your own setup like this? And now you need very specific pieces to even get rid of like everything. Yeah, this is fine because this is also going for a perfect clear setup. And the only reason that the T would go here if we get another Z here, so it is a perfect clear setup. Yeah, now we go for a perfect clear setup. Everything is fine as we, okay, so this piece would definitely go here or here. It would go here if it's like a long bar, or well, no, not here, probably here, because this line is also clearable. This would go here if it's like a T, because the T is better to clear this, but because our next piece is completing the perfect clear setup, it's fine. And we can do this the other order. That's why I said that we could place the Z here and then the long bar, but making it the other way around is also fine because this is a perfect exercise. So we are like just transitioning back to the old stuff. This is all standard, taking the burn, taking the burn. And yeah, taking the T here is also fine because now we would like get rid of long bars. I think, yeah, it's really high level decision making, but nothing really unheard of up until this point. I mean, no human ever had a game where we only had one discarded line and 47 lines. So yeah, that's something, but never really. I mean, it's not really unheard of. It's just a lucky game and like so much aggression. I think like there was many places in the game where this could go easily wrong. But yeah, up until this point, it's still only one discarded lines. Yeah, but this stack is not stable. Like we really need to get like ways to widen this stack, otherwise it's bad. Okay, the long bar probably should always like fill the dependencies, but from both bottom to top. Let's see if the AI does that. Okay, the AI is a principled man. It sees like dependencies, it solves dependencies from bottom to top. Yeah, from bottom to top, bottom to top. Okay, that one placement is like really high level. I don't think in like level 5 speed I would decide and go with this one, but it's actually really high level because going here is like not bad, but if you go here, there is no way to tuck because like it's elongating this thingy and the alt is just like getting kicked into this piece, so you could never tuck anything below just a long bar. Eventually, maybe that's the thing that's gonna happen, but if we get a T or we get like anything here, maybe an L piece can still come here first. So yeah, our next piece is an L piece. The L piece should come here. But of course it's not, so we take the burn, we go there, and now the only thing we can get here is a long bar, which we get. And things get weird here, because if you ask me here, with my next piece is a T, what would I do here? I would definitely tuck and place the T here. This says, no, thanks, I'm gonna take this burn. And there was no guarantee our next piece would be like a J here. I don't know, this is like, again, a weird setup. This is risky, there are not many solutions, but the AI manages to get one of them in the next 3 pieces. Crazy lucky. Okay, I like this move because now this is like stable. I'm sorry, stabilizing the bottom. Now we can get Z pieces here. This is really smart one. I think this is also a really smart one because otherwise there we wouldn't set up our like luck. This is like set up our luck. Yeah, that's it. Because now we can place the long bar to the really right, and hopefully we can get a 2 white piece, which we do, and actually the best 2 white piece. That's why it's like really good. Again, it's not taking the bars because we have a long bar, so we can like set up for long bars. It's always good. But now there is nothing else. We take the bar. That's really good. Yep. Yeah. Okay, again, if the next piece would be an L piece, we would tuck here and take the double, but because it's not, we just go this way. This is also something not unheard of, like getting another L into J into T. It's like a well-known combo. This point, again, that's why we don't go here, because there is a chance we get another piece. So like going with the flexible option is always better. Okay, yep, this is also fine. We're gonna get the key eventually. I would probably not take this burn with this piece, because this is like getting monkas. And then what it does is just, again, unheard of. It does two independent stacks, but it's not really. It's just like making this like center well, which is always something you want to avoid because it's greedy, unnecessary, blah 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 blah. You need the T first, then the Z, then some three white pieces to get this cleanly. But of course, you can take the long bar and say that this line is garbage. Put it into the like pin, and that's what the AI does. It doesn't care about anything else now. If it would get definitely a J and square, it would take it, but I mean it gets the T, so of course it takes it. I mean, if now it would know that the next piece after the next piece is a square, it would never take this. It would go here, maybe even here, maybe even here. I mean, yeah, probably not, because then the L is not not tackable. Okay, so this is definitely out of the question. I don't really like this one. I think it would go here. But now this line is to the wolves. It doesn't really matter. So if we have a bad piece, it would not really make our stack more accommodating for other pieces. So it just goes to the trash. And this is also a piece placement which is weird. I would definitely go the square all the way to here and take the burn here, because then we have places for T's. It gets the T, so now it's forced to do like weird shit. Not really optimal, but I mean, it is what it is. If you like gamble and get bad pieces after it, sometimes that's just life. And again, now this line is also going for the walls because of this gamble, and this gamble not working. And this line is also like very weird, because how how do you wanna get this line? There is no way. So this line is also to the walls, but you're gonna see it's not exactly, but because yeah, the AI is crazy and crazy lucky at the same time. So basically, if you get something here, but now we are not going for it, but now we are going for the perfect stuff, which I like. And this is the height that I said that I would not recommend to not like go here, because now we are gambling on a T at this high. This is extremely risky. And now, after we like pushed our luck and said we have no time to gamble, now we go for it, which is weird. Why wouldn't we go like earlier, and we would still have a game? Now it's doomed. And it's not doomed only and only if we get 3, 4, and 5 pieces in a row. Only perfect pieces. That's weird. Yeah. So I think the only interesting idea about this Z is why wouldn't it go here? I really don't know. But I didn't like with Z going here, long bar going here, because anyways the only piece that can come here. I don't know. It likes taking the burns with the line pieces, which is not bad, but definitely weird. Again, it takes this burn, which why? I would definitely go with the square here first. Maybe even this can go here. Just set it up, because now if we burn this, the square falls over, and like this line is probably garbage again. I don't know. I'm not the AI. Again, this is also going through, so this cannot be tucked here. So the only piece that can be tucked here is an L piece, and the L piece is not really good because now the Z is bad. I mean, it's so many questionable decisions at this height, because this line would be clearable, this line would be clearable. There is no way we should have gone for this, and we only needed to like discard two lines. Now the aggression is backfiring definitely. If like we would not make these mistakes and just like go conservative, maybe even like extra 20 lines is possible here, but I mean, it's hard to judge. This definitely feels like bad, weird. Why would you ruin your stack like this? And again, you got this piece. Why wouldn't you go for like? I mean, I understand because we have like dependencies here, but I mean, then why would we ever like tag the piece here at the first place? If we would say we don't want these lines. So yeah, it's weird, but semi-understandable. Yeah, that's fine. That's also fine. I think up until this point everything was fine. Yeah. And now again something weird happens. Why wouldn't you go the T here? Maybe taking the burn, but it again just makes it like semi weird. And this is again weird. Like there is no way we're gonna get anything with a long bar here down there. Like why wouldn't we just place this piece as it is right here? Because anyways we can get lucky with the LPs here, and after the skim we can get lucky with the square on the right. That's like 2 out of 7 pieces, and like uh, the next piece would like never gonna be another S because of how the RNG works. I mean, it's not never, but less likely. It's like 50-50 at this point, but like going here, what would you accomplish? You wouldn't place this piece here, so like this is weird. It makes zero sense. And then, of course, we would get this piece. And now you see that if it would be here, it would be just better. So now the risk, which would be like not really punishable, is not taken, but the risks that were like easily punishable with bad RNG were taken. I don't know. It's again hard to judge. So getting lines, I think nothing. And this is the first thing that would come to my mind. Why would it place it here? It's again kind of weird because our next piece we would like to go it like one mino like inwards and like to the really right with the next J, because then the long bar is like a savior. But this setup, if we would get a long bar, the long bar would be an absolute punisher. And of course, the long bar doesn't happen. And yeah, this is also weird. Why wouldn't it just go here if the T is also clearing? And this is actually something I can like answer, because it thinks that after this and tucking this T here is a fine idea. But it's only a fine idea if we get a J piece. Without the J, this is like terrible. Why would you ever go for this? Of course, we would get the J piece. And yeah, taking the burn is fine. Going there is fine. And weird shit happening again. Like, this piece, I kind of understand why it goes all the way to the left, because it wants to get this line. But I mean, probably unnecessary. Like we can go into the middle and go with the long bar to the really left. Because anyways, if you get another z, the long bar anyway would clear, and there is another like z or square, and we can still complete the 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2. It's it's absolutely unnecessary. So this risk is also not taken, and as you can see, it would like result in a perfect solution if we would just drop it into the middle. Because now this line is not like there is like a line piece. Now there is like two like really really bad bumpiness here. It just kind of ducks everything, and this has to be placed here because we need elevation sheet for the T on the right. And as you can see, this bumpiness here is the reason why we're gonna lose, because if there is not like this bumpiness, long back to the left is fine. But now the long back to the right left is not really fine because we can't place pieces on the left. And yeah, the T has to come all the way to the right. And one last ditch effort, it went like this piece to the really left. But like chance of odds, like anything, if we get an L piece, it can go through. If we get like a, I don't know, an S piece, it can get a clear. And if we get two O pieces, we are still fine. Yeah, but it's not happening anymore. So it decides to like go there. But I don't know why, because now that it cannot go through, so it there is zero chance to like clear this line. If we would place it here, it would still have a chance. If it's a Z or an S, the T can go to the really right, and the Z can like skim this line. If it's a Z, I mean an S, we can go here, and I mean we can go the T here, and the S would clear this line anyways. So this is also a well-known uh, setup. We should just go like down, and as you can see, we would get the Z piece. So if the J would be here, T would be here, the Z would be score this line. But because this is here, top out happens before we could like slide the Z to the left and claim the 104th line, which would make my opinion on the AI as this game is very lucky. The game doesn't really have high level different concepts that we are already implementing. And fourth, uh, and I think this AI is still improvable. I'm sorry, because we are really really far from getting 100 lines, as the current human world record is 72, which is laughable. But we would never get such a lucky early game into such a lucky mid game into such a lucky end game. Everything was like perfect up until like some gambles were questionable, and some gambles were actually like fine. But overall, I think there is still slight improvement possible, and this seed is probably so gifted that you can score like 120 lines if you just like brute force every single piece placement earlier. But again, this is a huge AI, and if you're gonna watch this, Adrian, I'm challenging your AI. I think it's just gonna demolish me, but I want to fight and see what humans can offer against such a powerful AI. You have to know that the last AI was demolished. Now this AI is averaging more than 6 lines per games, and the old AI needed years to overcome. I think the old AI is something that probably I could beat now if I would like play 100 games. Maybe I don't beat it, but it's really close in terms of like wins, because I think it still gets many games below 30, but this AI is averaging 30, which is like ay 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 ay. It gets 50 lines or more every 35 games, which is crazy. Like, oh my god. Yeah, maybe we can still like tune our aggression, like knowing this AI, but I think like groundbreaking news didn't happen. It's just a really lucky game with a really fine early game and like some questionable decisions in the mid and late game, but it was such a huge pace. Like here, if you say that this is 80 lines, if I get bored like this high, I'm still expecting myself to get like 20. The AI get 20, but as you can like go deeper and deeper and deeper, and once it's like 90-ish, like this board, I mean, yeah, this scheme is very weird. It's something. Why? It's just frightening. Just go here. Take this. If you get this burn, you only discard this line and you get all of this. Just go here and discard this line and this line. And you get still all of it. Like you could get 91 lines and you just only at two. It makes zero sense. Like this gamble is something very very bad. Like yeah, I can see it could go really really good if you get like I don't know a J into square. But come on, you can't go for it. You can't go for it. No, it just feels weird. Okay, I think this is this is the end. What I wanted to say. So sorry guys, there is still no hope for humans to get 100 lines. It's not happening, probably. I'm not saying never, but not for a couple more years or until we find something even better. But yeah, slight improvements can be made on our gameplay, and seriously, maybe 80 is even possible with those, I don't know. But definitely our aggression level can be tuned in the early game. This proves it like clearly our aggression can be like improved in the early game. So that's basically it, and thank you for watching. Give a like and a comment if you have any ideas, any thoughts about my analysis, and see you next time.